Hello, and welcome to the ProjectWise Administrator Advanced Accreditation course on Enhanced Environments. This is part one of a three-part series for the Lookup table section of this course. In this section of the course, we will introduce the advanced techniques of using Lookup environment tables for attributes to use as value lists. During this course, you'll learn the components that make up a Lookup table, the benefits of using them, and how to create them. Lookup tables consist of two parts. The environment will consist of multiple attributes, which at least one of those attributes will be used as a filter. This filter attribute allows the single lookup table to contain multiple groups of data. Attributes using this lookup environment will use this filter to isolate and present only the valid data to be selected. Using multiple filters will allow the ProjectWise administrator to create a parent-child relationship between two or more attributes being collected. The second part are attributed ProjectWise abstract documents located in those folders. Abstract documents are documents with no file attached. Each abstract document represents a value row for the lookup table. Additional attributes like sort and description can also be useful for user entry and presentation. In this example, there are folders with the lookup table environments assigned called document code attributes. This is identified by the parent folder name, which contains multiple subfolders for each part of the document code: level, originator, role, and zone. In each subfolder, there are numerous uniquely attributed abstract documents which represent the valid entries for each part of the document code. The zone subfolder shows examples of parent-child relationship where the role is a parent of zone, meaning the abstract document for zone values will have a role associated. In this parent-child example, when the user chooses a role code of S for structural engineer, the available zone codes are BR, XX, and ZZ. If the chosen role code was D for designer, the available zone codes are RD, SW, XX, and ZZ. XX and ZZ have a filter value all, so those will be available for any selected role code. What are the benefits of an attribute lookup table? Using queries for the lookup tables are more efficient than using traditional fixed value lists for attributes. This also does not require attribute properties to be updated when the value list changes. Using lookup tables for user entry versus freeform text ensures consistent data entry for standardized value lists. And using selection lists reduce user data entry time and errors. Lookup values are centrally maintained within ProjectWise folders, which allows for much easier review or reporting of available values. Having lookup tables centrally stored in ProjectWise folders also allows maintenance, entry, and updates to be extended to non-ProjectWise administrators through the use of basic ProjectWise security techniques. Common lookup tables can be accessed and shareable between multiple environments, which also makes them easily portable between multiple data sources. In this exercise, we will create an environment used to store the lookup values. The environment table will be LKP _ FI _ attributes. An environment table name cannot contain spaces or special characters not supported by the database. Using a standard naming convention for lookup table environments is highly encouraged, along with a shortened name, as it will be used in the data query statements and the attribute properties. The table description will be lookup table - document code attributes. which is displayed in ProjectWise Administrator, and the name presented when assigning an environment to a folder. Both entries should represent what type of data the lookup table will contain. This environment will store lookup values to be used in generating document codes. The document code for this course will consist of 6 parts. Project, which is automatically populated by using a work area property. Originator, zone or system, level or location, type, and role. These will be selectable pick lists driven by the environment. The PW_filter attribute in this environment will be used to isolate each of these document code part value lists. The PW_filter2 attribute will provide a parent-child relationship where the selected role will dictate which allowed values are presented for the zone and level location parts. Now let's go into ProjectWise Administrator and create a lookup table. To create the environment to store the lookup values, log into the data source using ProjectWise Administrator. Expand the environment node, right-click and choose New Environment. Click Next. Enter Lookup Table Document Code Attributes for the name and description. Click Next. Enter LKP underscore FI underscore attributes for the table name. Click Next. Click Add to create the columns for the lookup table. This can be as many columns as needed to contain the lookup values, filters, sort, and description fields for presentation. I would suggest a minimum of 4 columns. The first column name will be PW_code. To store the value returned, the type is a variable character and we'll give 255 characters. Click Add. Next is PW_description, a description column to present to the user additional information in the selection box. Again, a variable character, 255 length. Next is PW_sort order, a sort column to arrange the data in a specific order. This will be an integer. Click Add. PW_filter, a filter column to identify the type of data to limit, a variable character, 255 characters. And last, PW_filter2 to provide a parent-child relationship option, a variable character, 255 characters. Now click Next to create the new table. Check the box labeled Create Attribute Records when document is created. This ensures that as abstract documents are created, there is a record created to store the attributed values. Click Next. Click Finish. Now the attribute table has been created. To collect the data in ProjectWise Explorer, the environment lookup table that was created needs to use an interface with the columns added to a layout. In ProjectWise Administrator, in the Environment Layout section, we will add the columns so that the user can easily enter the data. In this example, we will be using the More Attributes Layout tab. However, the Attribute tab can be used instead. The Attributes tab is useful to guide users for form entry by adding attributes to the form, adjusting their location, font, and other properties. However, for this simple lookup table we created, the presentation is not important as only ProjectWise administrators or allowed elevated users will enter the data. Now let's go into ProjectWise Administrator and follow these steps. Expand the newly created environment, expand Attribute Layout, expand Standard, highlight More Attributes, right-click, choose Add Attributes, select all the attributes, click OK. By default, the label will be the same name as the column. For user presentation, we want to change the label. Right-click on the attribute and choose Properties. Under Interface, change the label text to Code. Press OK. For description, enter description. For filter, enter filter. For filter 2, enter role, parentheses, zones, and levels, locations only. This informs the user that this is a parent-child relationship to the roles and zones. For sort, enter sort order. Now we've successfully created the attribute lookup table. Now the attribute lookup table has been created, let's create a view for the lookup table. This will make it easier to review the data stored in ProjectWise Explorer. This is not a required component, but is good practice. Let's go through the process now. Right-click on the Views node, choose New View, enter the view name, Lookup Table, Document, Code Attributes, expand the environment, and choose the Document Code Attributes environment. Click Columns. Remove the pre-selected 3 columns. Those are automatically added but will not be helpful in this view. Expand the environment that contains the lookup tables and add each column to the view. Click OK. Now let's assign the view to the environment. Right-click the Lookup Table Document Attributes environment. Choose Properties. Under the Default Document List view, drop down and select the newly created view. Click OK. Now, anytime a folder in ProjectWise Explorer is assigned this environment, the correct view will be displayed. Now let's create the Lookup Table General Attributes environment, which will store common document, drawing, and model pick list values, such as file type, scale, and sheet size. The PW_filter, PW_document, PW_drawing, and PW_model attributes will be used to categorize and filter the selectable lookup values. The PW_sort order attribute will be used for presenting the values to the user in a specific order. The Lookup Table -PW User Attributes environment will store additional data such as full name, company, user initials, and title block name. This is used to collect and extend user account properties that are not available in ProjectWise Administrator. You'll notice that there is no filter field in this environment, as there's only one type of lookup data being collected. Now go into ProjectWise Administrator and create these tables using the specified name and description for the table and the column names and types. When placing the columns on the standards layout, update the attribute labels as shown in the list. This concludes the first part of enhanced environments for creating attribute lookup tables. Let's review what has been learned. During this course, you've learned the components that make up the lookup table, the benefits of using them, how to create the environment components for the lookup tables, the environment with the proper layout and view configured. The next video, part 2 of 3, will provide benefits and techniques to use for keeping these lookup tables organized and how to manually create the abstract documents.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.